fear is something that plagues every single one of us. And we have these situations where we are terrified and unable to move. And I was in that situation. I was a young mom. My baby had just turned 5 weeks old. I got home from vacation and I laid her down in her crib, the safest place in the world as far as I was concerned. As she was laid down, I was awakened a few hours later to her screams. And it was a different type of scream. It sounded different. It was urgent. And so out of a dead sleep, I got up and I made my way towards her room that I had been to every night since she had been born. But I got caught. My eyes were burning. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't scream. And I got caught in a closet. Turned around, I didn't even know how to get out of my room. I didn't know how to get to my daughter, and I didn't know what was happening. I was paralyzed with fear. By the grace of God, I made my way across the room, put up the window, and that's when I realized that my house was on fire and that I had absolutely no way to get myself or my baby out. But God rescued me from the fire. God rescued my baby from the fire. My husband had gone to the church and to prepare. After you're in vacation, he's preparing for the next day. And imagine what he felt like when he drove home and the house next to us that had been under construction had already burned to the ground. He grabbed the firemen and they rushed to the house. My husband and a neighbor went in and got the baby. I didn't know who was there. I was just hysterical. Get my baby out. You know, in that time of need, I wasn't even thinking about myself. I was thinking about this child, this helpless baby, this one with so much potential. And around the corner came the fireman. I never saw his face, but I heard his voice. And he was holding up what was probably a very large flashlight, but it looked like a pin light. And he said these words, "Come towards the light." And as I went towards the light, felt his arms, he got me out to safety. They rushed us to the hospital and we were being treated all night long. And in the early morning hours, we called the hero of the story, my mother. My mother had so much peace in her heart that when we shared with her what had happened, it was like her peace moved through. Her faith overwhelmed our fear. You see, my mom had her ear to God, and God had called her to set aside a time to fast and to pray. And from the chapter 43 of Isaiah, which part of it is, you will go through the fire and not be burned. The flames will not consume you. I believe that my mother's prayers freed us and saved me from the fire. I believe that my mother's prayers kept us alive when the enemy wanted to kill us. I believe that my mother's prayers continued to walk us through that place of deliverance that we need when we were terrified with fear. And it wasn't like the fear ended with one night. Then we were afraid that my daughter would be hurt for the rest of her life. Her lungs hurt, her brain hurt, her development stalled. We were worried, we were fearful. And my mother's prayers led us on this journey of freedom that in many ways has resulted in this book that I have written for you. Yes, I have written this book for you. And it is filled with God's word specifically for you to help you get free, to get free from that paralyzing fear. So I know that every one of us have those times of being paralyzed by fear. So I want you and encourage you to open up and share your heart with this group. This is a safe place. This is a place where you can be real and transparent. This is a place where women are going to gather around you and pray for you and believe for you to be free.